Here's something interesting. Let's say that North Korea were to be liberated, okay? People are no longer forced to live in the conditions they're in. There's no more work camps. There's actual food and electricity brought in for people. People are no longer starving. They're no longer forced to idolize and worship Kim Jong-un, or formerly Kim Jong-il, or formerly Kim Il-sung. What would be most shocking, Lewis, to people of North Korea if they were to be liberated and informed about what the rest of the world is like?
I think just what life is like for people in the rest of the world. You've got people over there who just have no idea that you could live a life where you can eat something other than rice, and that you don't have to be hungry all the time, and that you might have electricity, or, cars, or you name it. I mean, I just think seeing life elsewhere would be like seeing life on another planet for these people.
And this is not to suggest that North Koreans don't smuggle in films from other countries and that there are people who have an awareness of this. But I think you're right, Lewis, that finding out about the general availability in many parts of the world, remember, not all, of food and electricity would come as a shock. I wonder if realizing that the rest of the world doesn't idolize Kim Jong-un and that that's okay would come as a shock to the people of North Korea. I wonder, and this is one that I am still shocked and appalled by, and Lewis has told us about it because he worked in a grocery store. What would the people of North Korea think when they learn how much food is just thrown out in the United States? Up to 25% of grocery store food and restaurant food. What would that realization be like?
Yeah. Who knows? I think that would also be shocking, and maybe it would even anger them.
There were actually some Reddit Ask Me Anythings done with North Korean defectors, and they were asked this question, and one said, quote, "The hardest part of adjusting was a lot of new culture shocks to get used to and understand. For instance, toilets, ATMs, using an electronic card to ride the subway, escalators, elevators, all of those things." In another Ask Me Anything from a North Korean refugee, he said he had never heard of the moon landing. It would be crazy to find out all those years you'd been staring up at the sky and someone else had actually been up to that moon. I mean, it's I think that thinking about this really just reinforces how much of just a horrible humanitarian crisis we have there. North Korea is not the only place where we have a humanitarian crisis, but it is one of the boldest and most boisterously loud regimes that seems almost proud of what they've established in North Korea. And it's a strong desire of mine to change the status quo for the average North Korean during my lifetime.
I would love to see North Korea liberated. I hope it happens soon. Unfortunately, our government has no interest in this. But if things could turn sour real quick, and we'd have to get involved.
They could. I recently read an article on The Diplomat about the kind of increasingly conflicted relationship between South Korea and China as a result of the relationship between China and North Korea. And India, the Northeast India, is also involved in increasingly this complex kind of diplomatic situation there. There may be an opportunity that comes up sooner than later to change the status quo in North Korea. No guarantee, but I certainly hope it happens. We have a great program for you today. I'm glad you're with us on this Friday.